SCA Minhag of the Week, Life Cycles, the Sebbit. So we talked about when we have a Sebbit, for what occasions. But now, we also mentioned that the Sebbit happens on Shabbat. So what goes on the morning of that Sebbit, that Shabbat morning in the Knis? Is anything going on that's special? So firstly is that the family, the person that has the happy occasion, they come to the Knis as usual. They generally go to the synagogue. They generally pray in with their family. And depending on the makeup of the synagogue, they may sit in the front row or they may sit in their regular seats. In any case, people generally, as they walk in, they will acknowledge their presence, especially if they know they had, a happy occasion that week or something coming up, and they will mabruk them. They'll either walk up to them to greet them, tell them Shabbat Shalom, mabruk, or they'll from the entrance or from their own seat, they'll give them a hand gesture like that, acknowledging them, and letting them know that they're wishing them well and they're happy for them. Now, these people that have the happy occasion, whether they'll talk about the Abi Haben, the father of the child, for example, or possibly the father of the Bar Mitzvah boy, or maybe the Bar Mitzvah boy himself, or maybe the Hatan, the groom, okay, they generally don't have a role participating in the prayers, and they're not given anything to be said publicly unless, of course, they're well versed, they're a regular as to part of the routine of what's being said in the Knis, or they're a Hazan or an amateur Hazan even. Otherwise, they're sitting there as guests and nothing is special going on. Everything starts happening once it's time for the Sefer Torah to come out and for the Aliyot to happen. And as my dear friend Joey Harari discussed in his Minhag of the Week videos, depending on the makeup of the Knis, and obviously with what the occasion is, will determine who gets Pitiha, who gets to carry the Sefer Torah, who has Julian, in other words, who has an Aliyah, how many Aliyot are given out, is all determined based upon the social mores of the particular synagogue, and obviously on time constraints, especially if there is more than one Simha, more than one Farah on that day. So that's really what's going on. Now, the Sebbit prayers, or the prayers prior to the Sebbit, always happen in the main synagogue, or at least at the time that the main synagogue is praying. In other words, you would never hear of people praying in first minyan, being out and done by 9 o'clock, then everybody going on their way and coming back for a Sebbit at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. It's unheard of. Okay, nowadays we see it, but it's not the true practice, the true custom. Also, something that was beautiful, that was always done in the past, and it's still done amongst, many traditional families, but it's for some reason it's falling to the wayside, is that if you were invited to a Sebbit, that means the family gave you the kabod, to invite you to their Sebbit. You did not pray in your regular Knis that morning. You went to pray with them. So let's say you generally prayed in Bet Torah, but you have a Sebbit in Sha'ar Sion, and the family is praying in Sha'ar Sion. You went to pray with them in Sha'ar Sion, and you would sit together with them. So now this family of 4, 5, 6, 7 people, okay, now swells to 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, whatever happens, those are the people sitting with them. Extended family, cousins, friends, neighbors, they're all sitting together, and that heightens, and enhances the happiness of the day. And those people are there also want to get involved. They're given aliyot as well. And it just increases the beauty and the excitement of the day and gives, extra jubilation to all those involved. So this is a wonderful minhag that we also need to see, come back. There are many other minhagim associated with samahot in the Beit Knesset, and each one we'll discuss as we get to it at its proper time.